Welcome to the I'm Not Dumb But podcast, where we won't claim to have all answers to life's deepest questions, but we promise you an exhilarating journey into the realm of knowledge you never knew you needed. Join us as we dive headfirst into topics that might be mainstream, but not common knowledge. From artificial intelligence to conspiracy theories, no topic is too taboo for us to explore. We hope you're ready to feel your curiosity and engage in mentally stimulating discussions. Let's get curious together. This is the I'm Not Dumb But podcast. On this episode, I'm not dumb, but what is the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFTs? I'm your host, Caesar, with Rob.
Yo.
Mitch.
Hey.
And Victor.
What up?
With a special guest tonight, our subject matter expert, Dan.
Hey. Caesar, thanks for that very sexual introduction. I'm really looking to get stimulated and curious with that.
This podcast is over. That was
I need some alone time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's up, guys? What's up? How you guys doing tonight?
Good, man.
Ready to learn about blockchain and crypto?
Yeah, man.
Well, I asked a good friend of mine, Dan, to come on the podcast because all about NFTs. So before we begin, Dan, give us a little bit of your experience with NFTs and crypto and all that stuff.
Sure. So my first experience with crypto kind of goes like back a ways when I was learning about it. And have you ever heard of Silk Road?
Nope.
Yeah. So it was a place where you could buy drugs and other stuff. And I didn't use it. But
Sure.
I was
I
aware
didn't use
of
it either.
It was on the...
I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it, and didn't inhale.
It was on the dark web.
I bought an AK.
But yeah, it's like
Kilos. You know how it goes.
no snitching, no narking.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
So my first experience, like learning about it, was then, and I always I thought I was really going to be stigmatized by it, because it was a way you could go onto the dark web. You could use bitcoins, which was the main currency at the time, to buy drugs. And I'm sure people that bought drugs back then and how many bitcoins they spent on for some weed or cocaine or whatever to get delivered to their house. I'm sure at some point they were like, man, I wish I didn't waste that money on that. But that was kind of mid 2010s, and maybe 2012, 2013. I remember it really being a big thing. Silk Road got shut down, and then there was a really big spotlight on crypto then. I didn't really get into trading until 2017. Did you want to
So
say
you've been
something?
on this for a minute now then, since 2010, right?
So I've known about it, but
Oh, okay.
not quite 2010. I think it was 2013. Between 2010 and 2015 is when the whole Silk Road thing happened. Silk Road got shut down.
Was Silk Road invite only, or you just kind of stumbled upon it? How did that
I
work?
think so. People were talking about it, and if you went on 4chan, which back in the day was really big, people would be like, "Yeah, you need Tor, and then you can find Silk Road, and from there, you can go through the process of buying and stuff."
Wow.
But I mean, it wasn't something you can just go on Google and search Silk Road and it'll pop up. You would have to use the special permissions to get onto the dark web. I know it sounds spooky and whatever, but that was the way to do it. So it really wasn't mainstream or anything. It was a whole setup, and the guy was making bank off of it until he got arrested and is serving the rest of his life in prison.
Wow.
Capitalism. Every episode,
the man always
every
trying
episode,
to bring you down. What happened to laissez-faire?
So then I actually got into a bit of trading. I think 2017 is when I was all right, maybe I should dive into this now. And I was trading some alts. I did a little bit of Bitcoin. I think Ethereum was really starting to pop.
How did you kind of learn how to trade and Bitcoin and all that?
I just kind of did it, right? So
Bought one of those books. You bought one of those dumb books.
yeah.
Crypto for
Crypto for
idiots?
Dummies.
So you kind of just Google how do I buy Bitcoin, right? So it's been so long since, but back in the day, you were buying Bitcoin was a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
You could buy it from someone, but you had to meet them in person, and they would transfer it. to you. There was also a site called like the Bitcoin
via USB,
faucet.
right? Like everything was on everyone's USB. Yeah.
And then you'll hear stories about people that had crypto on like hard drive or USB, and then it's gone forever, and they've lost like millions and millions of dollars of like Bitcoin. There's a guy, I think out in England or the UK, someplace over there, who has a hard drive that he disposed of that had $600 million worth of Bitcoin on it.
Oh my God.
And he's been trying to lobby like the town for him to excavate and dig and try to find this hard drive that's in the dump someplace.
Wow.
But they just like won't let him do it. He's like, I'll share some of the profits with you if I can find it and I can recover my keys. So that's another thing we'll probably get into is when you buy crypto, you have to have like a digital wallet. The big thing with crypto is not your keys, not your crypto. So if you hold something on an exchange, it's not really yours because it's not like in your wallet. It's sitting on the exchange. So a lot of times people like to put it off of the exchange, either in like your own digital wallet or a digital wallet that's online or offline. But we can talk about that later. So 2017 started trading a bit, took a break, got back in like 2021. I started hearing about NFTs. Like I was trading stocks at the time, and if you guys ever heard of like Top Shot was a big thing.
The golf thing?
Yeah.
Close. But they were
You get drunk and trade.
that's a terrible idea. Done it. Terrible idea.
I'm a professional. This is what I do.
I started hearing about Top Shot in 2021. It was like these sports NFTs. So there was one of like LeBron James. It was like a video of LeBron James dunking a basketball, but it's an NFT and it was selling for like $15,000. All of a sudden you're like, why? Like, what's the point? I don't get it. And then you hear about Bored Ape Yacht Club, which are, pictures of monkeys, right? These cartoon pictures of monkeys, and they're selling for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you're kind of like, I want to get into this, and I'm curious about it. But I really didn't get into it until I was led there by a art gallery in Brooklyn. It's a gallery that does like a lot of pop culture art. And they were like, yeah, if you're curious about this stuff, we're thinking about dropping our own project. So I'm like, I'm curious. I don't really know anything about it. So they had a Discord link. So I joined the Discord and I kind of just learned from there. And that was August 2021, started my NFT journey. And I've learned a lot. I've made some money. I've missed a lot of opportunities, but I mean, that's kind of how it goes.
All right, cool. So you've had experience with crypto and NFTs. So let's take it, a little step back. So what exactly is crypto?
It's a digital currency that's not backed by anything except speculation and good feelings, really. So you have like money, right? You have the US dollar that's supposed to be backed by like gold, silver, and all that stuff. You look at Bitcoin, it's really just backed by nothing. Its value is that it's scarce and it has this like technology that is very interesting technology. And that's really where the value comes from.
Do you guys, does anybody have crypto on here except for other than Dan?
I have crypto, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Which one?
I got a little bit, yeah. I already lost my keys, so
Your car keys?
I'm fucking done.
You haven't had a car in years.
I have no idea how to get it. I did it through Coinbase, which is what, an exchange?
Yeah.
Yes, but Coinbase has a wallet as well. You can download like the wallet, and the keys are for that wallet. And the keys are usually, so when you say keys, it's just say like a wallet has a 12-word phrase, and they're predetermined words. But if you forget your keys, you put in those 12 words, and you can recover your wallet.
Ah, okay.
And usually it's suggested you write it down and keep it someplace safe, either in like a security box or something.
So just real quick. So your background, is it in finance and all this stuff? Like, how'd you decide I want to get into it? No?
It's it's just, curiosity. As I get older, I get curious in a bunch.
That's how you met Caesar?
Exactly. We found each other. So yeah, I mean, I'd seen talk about crypto, and then it's like, you know what? I don't want to miss the bandwagon. I just
how'd you hook up with that art gallery down there? How'd you just find them?
So the gallery is, like I said, it's a pop culture gallery. They're called Bottleneck Gallery. They're out of Brooklyn. I knew about them from going to like Comic-Con in New York City. Like they do prints and they sell prints there. I follow them on Twitter, and they just posted about it because the guy that owns the gallery, he's a Bored Ape Yacht Club holder, and he was thinking about doing his own project, which was it was what they call a free mint. So when you mint something, you pay to have it put on the blockchain. If it's free, you only pay what they call gas. So it's like a processing fee for the transaction to occur on the blockchain. So whenever a transaction is done, so this is all specific to the Ethereum blockchain that I'm talking about right now. But
well, didn't a couple of those exchanges already fold, like FTX?
The thing with FTX is, so people that had their assets on the blockchain, the people that were like the owners, developers, whatever you want to consider them, of FTX were using their crypto to do leveraged trades, doing things that they shouldn't have. And that's why that went down. And that's where the whole, the not very good feelings about crypto and decentralized finance comes from. But yeah, FTX was a very shitty thing for a lot of people.
So we'll get into that one later. But so just, to start all over again. So crypto is just a digital currency, right? And one of the main reasons why it started was this sort of decentralization kind of idea, right? To take away the powers from the big banks or whatever it is, right? Am I right?
That's the whole Satoshi Nakamoto.
So that's thing. The guy who...
The person...
And we still don't know who he is, right?
We still don't know who it is. Is that one guy?
We don't know who he is, but there's a guy who keeps saying that he's him, but there's
definitely
we all are him.
Michael's, yeah, we're all Satoshi Nakamoto.
In death, a member of Project Mayhem has a name. His name is Robert Paulson.
There's a guy who owns a company. It's a publicly traded company called MicroStrategy, and they own a bunch of Bitcoins. They're always buying. But like the CEO, Michael Saylor, keeps trying to say that he's him, but he's not.
Definitely
he's a liar. He's a hack.
One of the biggest things that I never really liked about crypto, just the idea of it. So they're trying to decentralize it, right? They're trying to take it away from like the so-called establishment. But if you're going to buy crypto originally, you have to put American dollars. You have to put some sort of fiat currency that's backed by a centralized government. Am I right about that?
Can't you just create it though?
Well, no, I'm saying I don't know anything about it. I'm just, if I want to invest in crypto, I'm going to have to pump in American dollars to try to get whatever, one Bitcoin, whatever that other stuff is, right?
Sure. Yeah. And to think of it, it's hard to think of it in a different way. I like to think of it like stocks. You can buy Bitcoin at $10, and in 10 years, it's $60,000 or whatever. Right. So it's still backed by money to an extent. It has its own value, right? So it's not like one for one. Now there are cryptos that are one for one. And they're called stable coins. And the idea is that that's completely backed by money.
Yeah, I've heard that term stablecoin because I know like some people can just mine crypto, right?
Sure.
But then at that point, you're creating crypto without putting any fiat currency into it.
Unless you want to, consider all the money you're spending for your electric bill and for the actual mining rigs and having that operation set up.
And that would be the gas?
So the gas is what gets paid. It does get paid to the miners, the people that are doing the mining. And the miners are the ones that have the equipment to run the transactions, to put it on the ledger that is the blockchain. So to have it written on this never-ending ledger, it needs a bunch of processing power. And that's because
isn't that the whole? There's like a trade-off between mining it and then just buying it. Because from what I know, it's like if the price of the coin is so high, the cost to mine it, I guess, would just be significantly increased, and then it's not worth mining it anymore to a lot of people because you're paying so much in electricity and computer power, processing power, that it's not worth it. You're not going to get your money back by mining it.
Right. I mean, it's complete, like, your risk assessment and your cost analysis, all that good stuff that goes into it.
Funny you mentioned it. So it's huge. So big mining Bitcoin, right? It takes on a huge energy consumption. A couple of years ago, Texas, it has a couple of mining farms within Texas, and there was one outside of Austin, right? And I guess a couple of years ago, maybe in 2021, where they were dealing with this. Remember, you guys, when Texas was dealing with the whole, like, it was like snowing, and they had like a huge deep freeze, right? Well, it was taxing their electrical grid. So one of these Bitcoin mines was still, trying to, mine this cryptocurrency. So they wrote a story about it, and they said that they took this refurbished power plant and they dumped a whole bunch of computers on it. And that power plant alone was needed about 6,500 worth of electricity. 6,500 homes worth of electricity. So when when Texas was going through all these issues, they actually told the mine, they were like, listen, we're going to pay you guys to stop using electricity for now until we get our shit together. And they paid them $175,000 an hour just so the mines can stop. So the article's like, in Texas, the computer kept running until just after midnight, and this is after there was a deep freeze. The state power grid operator ordered them to shut it down under an agreement that allowed it to do. The system was about to fail. In return, Texas paid the Bitcoin company an average of $175,000 an hour to keep the computers offline for the next 4 days.
That is
so they made
wild.
$18 million not to mine. Not to mine, because this thing generates, it needs a whole bunch of electricity just because these computers. So my understanding is when you mine, it's an algorithm. You're trying to crack this code, right? You're trying to crack these codes.
So you're running a bunch of algorithms, and they found that it's a better use of hardware equipment if you do it off of like video, like graphics cards,
right?
Instead of like a CPU. So that's why companies like NVIDIA, their stock had shot up with like crypto going up. AMD, these companies that make video cards. And if you were a gamer during the time, which, I've always gamed and I've always been a PC gamer, like trying to buy a video card
right
was like
there.
next. Yeah, Master Race, this guy gets it.
That guy gets it. Mitch, you get it.
At least one of us gets it.
Join me in PC gaming and ascend to godhood!
Yeah, I've heard the term master race before. I'm well aware of that one.
It doesn't end well.
That's the next podcast.
I like your patch. Yeah, I like your patch, man. That red and that black goes really well together.
So where were we? Yeah, so if you ever see a mine, it's actually it's interesting. Like, and people can run their own like mining rigs like in their house.
Did you ever get into that? Did that ever pique
No,
your
I thought
curiosity?
about it when I was actually in an apartment that had electricity included.
Nice.
But yeah, they would have put a stop to it real quick. But it generates a ton of heat. And you'll have these PCs that have like 4 graphics cards all lined up in them, and they're just running like 24/7. And every once in a while you hear of the story. I remember one, I feel like it was a few months ago. I think it was a high school janitor had built a whole mining rig like in the school underneath, like in this like crawl space. He had a bunch of mining computers in there, and they found it, and he got in a lot of trouble because he was stealing electricity from the school to run these mining rigs.
Oh man, after dealing with them kids, that's the
the way to
least. Come on.
I used to work for a company, and it was like an outsourced IT company, and the boss used to run mining on other companies' servers on their off time. So like after hours when they weren't at work and they weren't using it, you would just log into their server because you had to do something, and you'd see all these little windows up because he would just be doing mining using their processing power on their off time.
Oh, my
It was
gosh.
so genius. It was so great. I was like, it would be annoying for me because I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm trying to figure out why this email is not working. And then like you just see all these like pop-ups. I was like, oh, that's so fucking smart.
They do, and there was the people were taking out loans like 2014 to do these mining rigs, and I know I've heard stories about people selling like their house and dumping it all into Bitcoin around that time. Which, I mean, you have to have a lot of conviction to do that.
People were also, it was just like all these virtual servers and stuff that were setting up like overseas. Like they were just trying to do this as much as they could.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the difference in price from like 2014 to say like, I think it was like 2020, 2021, probably make a pretty profit if you were mining and actually getting like at least a full Bitcoin. However long you're doing it.
I remember I found out about Bitcoin like 2009, 2008, and I searched online because I was like, I had money at the time, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's see if I can buy a few. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing or even how it worked, and I'd be on these websites and I'm like, it'd be like hieroglyphics. Like I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. And I'd rather spend this money on booze and anything else.
Man, this guy gets it.
the thing is, even
forward, I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. It was like 0.009 cents for a Bitcoin.
You still get it.
Yeah, but even if you did buy it, do you think you would still have the keys, or you would even be able to access it?
Probably not. I would probably forgot the password
exactly.
or done something else stupid with it.
And I'm sure you've heard of the big story about the guy that spent like 10,000 Bitcoins on a Papa John's pizza.
Yes, yeah.
Oh. Like that guy's got to live with that.
There was one dude who like bought something from eBay, like very small for like I forgot how many, like a bunch of Bitcoin, and he was like, "Oh well, you know, what are you gonna do?
Not do it. That's what you're gonna do. Not do it."
That kind of. Yeah, but I mean, you have to have that mindset after.
Yeah, it didn't cost them much, probably.
And I don't even know, like, what websites were even really accepting cryptocurrency. I guess eBay must have been one. I know Overstock for the longest time has been accepting cryptocurrency.
Yeah, Overstock. I did hear about that.
But I know, and then you have Tesla, who was accepting cryptocurrency for a hot minute for cars, but then that went away. And
was that Doge?
It was a whole different thing.
Dogecoin?
I don't know if he was taking Doge. It would make sense if he was.
Elon fucked me on the Doge.
That's kind of his thing. It's just fucking people. So,
the wave's still going. It's still going. I think I bought once like 50 cents worth of it, and it went down to like 49 cents. I was like, I'm out.
Sell.
I don't get it. I'm out.
Nobody knows if the stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in fucking circles. Least of all stockbrokers.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to do like analysis and everything on it. Like, I know a bunch of people that do technical analysis on your regular coins, like your Ether and your Bitcoin. But then there's a whole different side called shit coins.
Shit coins? Like shit coins?
Shit. Yes. Like caca.
Poo-poo.
Like poo-poo caca? Like R. Kelly poo-poo?
That shit is gross!
There's what they call shit coins, which are basically just coins that are either made up or maybe they have something behind them. Probably Doge, when it was first like created, was a shit coin. More recently, there was one called Pepe, and if you're familiar with Pepe the Frog, he's kind of like a big like figure in meme culture. There was a coin called Pepe, and people had bought in like really early, and the market cap for it shot up, and people were making like life-changing gains on this shitcoin. And that's a big thing in like crypto and NFT culture is the memes.
So it's like a meme stock.
People buy shit for the memes. Yeah, people buy shit because it's, Pepe. Pepe is important to us, so let's just dump money into it. And then you have a bunch of people just buying off of each other and driving the price up. And
capitalism.
Wasn't there a NASCAR sponsored Bitcoin at one point?
Really?
Yeah.
Could be. Everyone kind of dips their toe into like crypto, NFTs, Web3.
So let me ask you, right? You traded stocks, right? So I understand, like, if you buy a stock or whatever, you're basically buying into this company that is hopefully going to make a profit. When you buy into a Bitcoin, are you buying into the fact that this specific blockchain or system or something is going to make a profit, or is this going to be the better one? Like, what is the value other than speculation short term? Like, where does actual value come out of these coins? Like, do we know?
Speculation.
It's all speculation?
It's a lot. So I think Bitcoin itself, it's considered, like the father of blockchain. Mm-hmm. It's not the most efficient
Before
chain.
you go on, can you explain what the blockchain is? Because all this stuff that's what it runs on, right? That's what all this cryptocurrencies.
Right. So it's
blockchain technology.
I think in the simplest terms, it's like an ongoing ledger that has everyone writing to it. This transaction happens here. The block fills up, goes to the next one, next one, next one, next one. The thing with the blockchain is that it can't be edited. So anything that happened like way back then will always be there. You'll always be able to go back and reference it. You'll always be able to look up that guy who spent $10,000 or 10,000 Bitcoins on a Papa John's pizza, right? If it was executed on the blockchain. So that's, in the simplest terms, that's the blockchain.
So that's better. That's more secure because we always have this constant ledger versus like a bank right now just has one ledger and that could potentially be edited. So there's some sort of like security risk there. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so if I'm looking at, let's say right now, I have Bitcoin and I have Ethereum. Mm-hmm. When I bought into them, am I saying that so Bitcoin's blockchain is different than Ethereum's blockchain, which is different than Doge's blockchain? That's what I'm buying? Or what exactly is the difference?
So there are separate blockchains. They vary in efficiency and cost.
Okay.
And then, like for me, who dealt a lot in NFTs were mainly on the Ethereum blockchain because you could write them on that blockchain. More recently, I haven't been as involved in NFTs recently because it's been a bear market, and these damn kids are expensive. So I kind of haven't been spending money on NFTs or buying and selling because nothing's really like taking off. It's like, am I just going to spend money to like not make a profit? Am I just going to spend money for the vibes to mint something? But more recently, Bitcoin they found a way to, what they do is called inscribe onto the Bitcoin blockchain. So Bitcoin has its own NFTs now, but when you think of NFTs, it's mostly going to be Ethereum blockchain. Other blockchains like Solana is one.
Yeah.
There's Polygon Matic, which is like a side chain to Ethereum, but it's still based on like the Ethereum's blockchain. And those are like free blockchains. So I say free, like it really doesn't cost much to mint. It's very cheap, or even like execute a transaction on it. It's extremely cheap, like a few cents. Where like during the bull market, I was spending like $100 to like execute a transaction on something on the Ethereum blockchain because gas was so high. And again, you're kind of like fighting with people to get your order into the miners quicker. So people were starting to look for like other alternatives. So you have like the Matic or the Solana blockchain. And they use different types of cryptocurrency. Right? Ethereum blockchain uses Ether. Solana uses Sol. Polygon uses Matic.
Super complex.
It gets like real confusing. There's a lot of different ways to, get your NFTs.
So
and whatever,
each one of these blockchains is like a company? Like there's people working for this blockchain?
Yes.
Like, So are we betting on businesses or are we betting on a system?
So I think the whole idea is betting on the system. But you do want the blockchain that you feel is going to be adopted, right? So like I said, there's Polygon. Polygon is a blockchain that is extremely cheap to execute transactions on. Are you guys familiar with Reddit?
Heard of it.
The website, right?
Heard of it.
So on Reddit, you can buy these little avatars, which is like a little guy and
Little alien guy, right?
the little alien guy, and you can buy like limited edition versions of that little alien guy. And what's funny is people on Reddit are very anti-NFT, anti-crypto, stuff like that. But those little alien guys actually are NFTs on the Polygon blockchain. The people on Reddit that are buying them don't really know that.
Stupid.
So if you buy one and you go, I mean, it is Reddit, so I'm a Redditor and I'm retarded. I get it. So
we're gonna later on we're gonna ask you. Later on we're gonna ask you, are you the asshole?
Am I the asshole? That's r/IATA.
We're gonna ask you later on if you bought into GameStop.
Yeah.
I missed that one. That's a whole separate one with the short squeeze. I got into some of them, and then Robinhood. Fuck Robinhood. Robinhood halted like a bunch of trades.
The issue was with that, where Robinhood got a lot of pressure from a lot of these giant companies, and these giant companies told them, "Yo,
fuck
listen,
Robinhood, fuck BlackRock."
Yeah, exactly. A lot of these,
fuck Citadel,
a lot of these
fuck
hedge
them all.
funds. Yeah, please sponsor me, please. A lot of these hedge funds, they were losing a crap ton of money, so they was like, so they hit up Robinhood, you got to stop this. So that's what happened. That's why they froze. Follow the money. But before
I know, but then a lot of us that bought in and were trying to, ride out the short squeeze with everyone else, got stuck holding the bag until the price, adjusted.
Capitalism
itself.
play with you.
Why is it our fault? Why is
Capitalism
it our fault?
for the poor, socialism for the rich. Come on, you know this. But so
Bernie 2024.
So NFTs, like, what exactly is NFT? Because I know a couple of years ago it was hot and everybody was on it, and later on we're going to talk about. You mentioned that it is market kind of collapsed on itself, and we'll talk about a little bit of reasons as to why. So what exactly is an NFT?
It's a non-fungible token.
What does that mean?
Which means it cannot be funged.
What does that mean?
So it's a unique piece. It's a silly monkey picture.
Monkey painting.
I think if you want to think of it in a way, it's a crypto-backed asset that's on the blockchain, right? So it's a unique asset that gets written to the blockchain, and you have ownership of it in whatever way. And the blockchain kind of serves as like your receipt for it. Bored Ape Yacht Club is a very popular one because that's the one that, like, during the bull market, like one monkey picture, could get you almost $200,000-$300,000.
Damn.
Like, yeah. But a lot of it is just, it really depends, man, because there's so many different levels to NFTs.
The basic level. What's the basic level?
Can anything be an NFT, or does it have to be an image?
No, it can be anything, really. So I got into it because I like art and I like collecting. I toe that fine line between collecting and hoarding. And when you make it digital, it's like, hey, I'm not hoarding. It's just
I'm
all
a collector.
online, right? So
it's like someone with
I'm
shoes,
a collector.
right?
So shoe bros got into NFTs too, and then they learned it's not as easy. And
so you can make an actual shoe, NFT.
Well, not like an actual shoe. I guess you could if it's like. Actually, never mind. But no, I'm saying like people that buy and sell shoes, like a lot of them are trying to get in NFTs because they're thinking, oh yeah, it's easy money or whatever. To learn that it's not that easy. It takes a lot of like learning to really like understand the concepts and the markets for NFTs. It's not as like straightforward as like stocks. It's like, oh, there's a bad press report about stocks. Maybe it goes down a little bit. Maybe it shoots back up. You get bad news on NFTs and it goes like straight to zero.
Oh, wow.
Is there a process to making an NFT? Like, let's say I have an image or something.
So, yes. And it involves what they call smart contracts. And it's not easy to write. I think actually now that ChatGPT is out, I think you could probably make a pretty easy smart contract. Yep, your good friend. And I think people were kind of going to that. There was another site that also kind of like simplified the process of minting your own stuff using kind of like a basic smart contract. But smart contracts, you need to be aware of what's in it, because people can also put bad things in the smart contracts. Where if I mint something from the smart contract, there's a line of code in it that says it can take everything out of my wallet and transfer it to a different wallet. So a lot of security concerns. That's where like some of the negative press for like NFTs and crypto come from.
So let's say I have an NFT, or I have something real quick. I have a small image. I want to make an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
I create a smart contract, and I have to. Do I reach out to the blockchain that I want to then make the NFT with? Now that you said that's certain, there's a bunch of blockchains that do NFTs.
So you could just do it yourself. Like there's sites now where you write the contract, you pay the fee for it to be put onto the blockchain, and then your image is there. You're good. Your image is good to go, right? And people have done that. I think what I like about NFTs as like a collector, the way that it used to be set up is an artist could mint his work onto a blockchain. Once that piece gets sold, a piece of the commission would always go back to the artist.
That's
I was just going to say that. Yeah. It's like royalties, right?
Yeah, sure you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So artists were always getting royalties. Then these other marketplaces came around and they were finding ways to get around like the royalties, which isn't good for the artist. Right. But NFTs range from the silly monkey pictures to like legit art. If you've ever seen Beeple on Twitter, he does like these hyper realistic,
like one a day or something like that. One a week.
One a day, very satirical, based on like current event, like images. They're wild sometimes, like
trippy. Some of them are trippy.
There was one of like Elon Musk, just super jacked, like Giga Chad Musk walking, like the Doge dog.
Bigger than Bezos? Right? I don't think so.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I don't know,
he's a final master. He's definitely fun man.
2023 Bezos
on his yacht.
I think there was actually one of Elon Musk like fist fighting Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX guy, and they were both butt naked
in the Bahamas.
He does some wild work, but his work gets sold and like it sells at Sotheby's, like legit galleries that do actual auctions of actual art. So like there is art in NFTs. There's a guy, his name is I think if you ever look up Drifter Shoots, he's a guy that served some time. He got out, he started doing like photography. He may have already been doing photography before it, but he has this collection called Where My Vans Go. And he climbs up to the top of like skyscrapers or tops of bridges, and he hangs his legs over so you can see his vans, and he takes pictures. And it's amazing. And his work is very expensive too. And it's digital art that exists on the blockchain. And it's been sold at auctions where you can bid on it either in currency, like fiat currency, or cryptocurrency.
But with all those NFTs, right? I'm assuming people are buying it as an investment, right? But a lot of the ones I've seen before, let's say, like the market collapsed, it just didn't make sense to me because I'm pumping money into this whatever unique piece, but the value is only in the eye of the beholder, right? So if I'm buying something and I'm pumping, let's say $100,000 for let's say whatever one of those NFTs we talked about, I can only flip it if someone else sees the same value in it, right?
Sure, but I mean,
isn't that how art works now?
Yeah, but in general. You're going to see Rob running around the city taking photos to make
of my Converses.
Where my Converse
If you see
go.
him lying on the sidewalk on like fucking
I'm
Second
okay.
Avenue, yeah, he's okay. He's trying to make money here.
He's going to be selling. He's like, this is an NFT. And people are going to be like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Everyone, look at this puddle. This puddle will be an NFT.
So yeah, there's the art stuff. And then there's there's projects you buy to be part of like a community. So say like Bored Ape Yacht Club. Those people have the NFT, which makes them part of that Bored Ape Yacht Club community.
So that's it?
And they throw like parties. Well, they throw parties, and to get access, you need to hold NFTs, which is verifiable in your digital wallet. But that community it's gotten a little bigger with like subsequent collections that they've dropped. But also holding it, you get like their crypto token. It was called Ape. So even just holding like some of those NFTs that people were holding, they're again free money, just airdrop to them. So they would get this Ape coin dropped to them. It already has a liquidity pool set up. It ended up going like to Coinbase, so you get a much broader audience of people that want to buy it, and you could just flip it for actual like money. So airdrops are another thing in like NFTs and the crypto community. Like if you use a chain or if you're holding like one of the NFTs, you'll get rewarded for it with some kind of currency. Like the Bored Ape ones had Ape. There's a service called the Ethereum name service. You buy an NFT that makes your wallet address something simple. So say like my wallet address is this really long ass number. It's 0x125F3 whatever, right? You can buy an NFT to make it Dan.eth. So people that bought into that earlier were rewarded for, being like an early investor in the Ethereum name service. They were basically airdropped like $5,000 worth of tokens that they could swap. So there's stuff like that, which makes it, it's attractive. It's like, ooh, like free money. And I really don't have to do much to get, profits and stuff like that.
So what do you think about IMDb coin?
Yeah, word.
You heard of it? You like it?
Is that a real one?
It's real.
I love IMDb.
The marketing guys.
IN. It's a
IN.
N as in Mancy.
So yeah, there's NFT. There's NFTs that serve as like a pass either to be part of like this community. Have you heard of the music festival Rolling Loud?
No.
Fire Festival?
They do.
That's a good one.
If only. Actually, I think Ja Rule probably was part of an NFT project at one point. Trump actually had an NFT collection. I don't know if you know.
I'd buy that.
He did.
I was going to talk about that a little bit.
Those really ridiculous trading cards.
Yeah, like eagles and shit on them.
They were something. I remember when they came out. I knew, I had a feeling it was going to fly, but I couldn't buy them. I couldn't bring myself to buy.
You got to get that Trumpy bear.
He's looking for money wherever he can find it.
You got to think, like, if you buy 45 of these, you can come have a dinner at Mar-a-Lago. Shit like that. There's like all these different levels to benefits.
You get free top secret documents on your
with a round of golf.
100 in Melania gives
you just can't.
You
get
a handy from Melania for after 100. I'd do that one.
Secret Iran invasion plans. Here you go. Welcome to Mar-a-Lago. Oh, thanks.
That's what I've always wanted.
A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
So NFTs, non-fungible tokens, basically just any unique, doesn't have to be art, could be something else, right? Backed on the blockchain, right? A couple of years ago, it was, they came on the scene and they blew up. A whole bunch of these people just started buying things left and right, and the value of a lot of these NFTs went through the roof, skyrocketed. Unfortunately, because of speculation, what goes up will sometimes comes down. And NFTs is one of those things that came down and came down hard. According to the data from Chain Analysis, the average price of an NFT token fell by a staggering 92% from May 2022 to February 2023. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you should see my wallet.
Yes, sir.
It's full of those. It's full of those that'll never
so
regain.
So you're lost at 92% value. And because it affected me a little, quite directly, because I listen to YouTube influencers and also celebrities for my financial advice. So I did buy a couple of them. And don't tell the wife or my son's college fund. But
you bought that over crypto?
Yeah. Yes, and actually,
listen, man, that's why we have civil service jobs.
I'm just bullshit. I didn't buy that stuff. But some
babe, look at this gorilla. Though. Look at this.
Look at this bored gorilla.
It's bored.
It's bored though.
Yo, it's bored though.
It's bored though. It's worth $1 million. It's gonna blow up.
We're going to a party tonight.
They're giving out sandwiches, cheese sandwiches. Don't worry about it.
It's Ja Rule.
I'll make the money back. I'll make it back. But there were a couple.
It'll come back.
Yeah, the money comes back in baht though, like Thai baht, not American dollars. I'm an investor. I got this. There were a couple of influencers that actually lost money as well when this market crashed. One of our favorites was Snoop. Snoop purchased his collection of NFTs. It was about $1.1 million. And now it's estimated to be about $688,000. So a drop of 38%. Steve Aoki, we all know who that is, right? The DJ. he bought an NFT for $346,000, and now it's worth $42,000. An 88% drop. Drop it like it's hot.
So real quick, the thing with Steve Aoki is like whenever we would see him buy into a collection, that was always the mark of the top. That's the top. It will never get higher than that. Steve Aoki was always the guy that bought at the top. That was always the joke. But yeah, I mean,
and
I think Bieber. I don't know who else you have. I know Bieber has like some expensive stuff.
Can you short NFTs?
So there's been some different exchanges that have popped up where you can do stuff with NFTs. I don't know if you can actually short them though.
They'll short themselves.
I know you can. I know you
just wait long enough.
You ain't lying.
Got him.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can actually short NFTs. I know you can take like loans out against them.
Loans out against them?
But yeah, but like the APRs are like stupid.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Who's doing that?
It's like it's on chain type of loans. It's not like a loan you'll get from like America.
No
or
big banks, right?
Something.
No big banks are getting into this yet.
No, it's. Let me take a loan out against my Bored Ape. Let me take like 40 ETH out, and if I don't pay it back, they're going to take possession of it.
Oh.
And if a lot of the times people won't like make that money back, and then the exchange gets a Bored Ape, and they do quite well for themselves.
I'm happy just losing money on regular stocks. Perfectly fine.
Yeah,
perfectly
like
content.
Better.
Exactly. Right.
It's more American.
When I got into crypto, I just bought a bunch of Bitcoin, and then I made like $300 or $400 on it in a matter of like a week. And I'm like, oh shit! Let me just put some more money into it, and then I just put a little bit more, and then it stopped going up. And here we are.
The last one is my favorite. Everybody's heard of Logan Paul.
Let me just crack my Prime open right now.
The WWE superstar, I think you mean.
His Prime has like 17 cups of coffee, and he's being like sued by the FDA. But
is that the boxer though?
No, his brother's the boxer.
Technically, they both box though.
I guess Logan's in his old like WWE thing
Logan
now.
boxed Mayweather.
It wasn't really a boxing, right? It was kind of like,
Yeah.
It was sports entertainment.
So our boy Logan bought an NFT for $623,000. I'm going to take guesses. How much do you think that NFT is worth now?
25 G's.
Good guess. Victor?
$100.
Even better guess. Dan, you know the answer to this?
I've read it someplace, but I've already purged it from my head. But I think it's low. I know it's not very good. So let's just say $2,000, and that's probably being
Our
very
friend
generous.
Logan Paul bought an NFT for $623,000. That NFT is now worth $10. A 99% drop in value.
That's my kind of trader right there.
We buy high, we sell extremely low.
Buy high, sell low, baby.
That one Pokemon card that he has is like what, $500,000?
Yeah, but you
the one that he made into a necklace.
Yes, that one.
Yeah, but
that necklace is sweet.
His NFT collection
I get
lost like $1
that.
million. So
he also had his own crypto scam going on.
Yeah, so he had his own project called Crypto Zoo, and he never followed up on it. And I think he was opening himself up to some lawsuits because of it. He had just like disappeared from the Discord, and then people started bringing up like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then all of a sudden, he just showed back up one day, like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I've been working on it." I was like, "Nah." But here's the thing: the NFT community is so stupid. Being one of them, and they do dumb things as they see like, oh, Crypto Zoo's back in the news. Let's start buying it again. Let's pump the numbers back up on it.
Pump and dump, baby.
Yeah, yes, that's what we do.
Pump and dump.
I feel like a lot of this market of like crypto and NFTs is just they're looking for that wave, that huge surge, and then everyone tries to make their money off of that.
I just never understood because like when you hear cryptocurrency, you think it's acting as a currency, but it's not really acting as a currency. It's not really a currency at all. It's more like
you're buying NFTs with like Ether, right? Or you're buying it with, I don't know, whatever other cryptocurrency chain it's on. So like Solana, you buy with Sol, or Polygon, you can buy with Matic, but you're still buying stuff.
So like let's say right now, if let's say we took the dollar, right, and that's backed by the full faith of the U.S. government, which is an organization that's doing whatever it's doing. Then you have another blockchain that some of these blockchains are capped at the amount of currency you can have out there, right? Because as you mine them, then they can't go any further. But then there's some that are infinite. The American dollar is infinite. You could just print more. So some of the ones that are capped, I feel like that's almost like a natural resource to where it's finite at some point. So I was always wondering why it would be a currency, but yeah, you do use it as a currency. But I could use silver as a currency, and there's only so much silver.
Speaking of like those NFT projects that never got completed, Lana Rhodes, did you guys hear about this one?
No. Is she a YouTuber?
So she had.
I'm gonna look her up.
Look her up, but look her on. Yeah, she's I think she's a YouTuber, influencer /
I'm just going to look up Lana Rhodes images. Whatever.
Lana Rhodes. Stay away. Stay. She also had a project that she created a project in 2022. And it was a whole bunch of NFTs based off her with like different outfits and stuff that she, put it out there to her community. She pocketed $1.2 million from the sales of those NFTs. She walked away from the project after it was found out that all those NFTs was kind of worthless. And she claimed it was because her community was too negative. So she started a project. She pocketed $1.2 million. She took that money out of the bank and then dipped and then claimed, I dipped from the project because my community was too negative. So capitalism, baby.
Yeah, but I mean, if you got the cash and you took it out, I mean, what is there to
The project was never finished. Yeah.
Yeah, it really depends. So usually when a project is started, they'll put out like a roadmap. So it says, okay, this is what we plan to do in this project. So if Lana Rhodes is like, oh, here's where we're going to start. It's going to start with pictures of me. And then from the funds that I get from people buying, we're going to transition into this part of the project. But if they just up and quit, then it still kind of opens them up to like a lawsuit. Like so it opens them up to lawsuits. Like, you promised something and you didn't deliver, right? And I think we're at that point now where, people that are like not following through on projects, or even more importantly, scammers, because there are a lot of scammers in this place. They're, being brought to justice. There's been people that have been like investigated by the FBI and they're going to jail for a long time because they've put out scam projects, which are only intended to take people's crypto and cash out. And they think that, because it's, on the blockchain, and no, not on the blockchain, but because I think it's like, oh, it's crypto and we can't be tracked because we have these wallets. Well, you can be tracked because everything exists on the blockchain. And unless you're doing it in a very specific way, you can be linked back. So like if you looked up my wallet on one of the sites where you can look up whatever transactions I've done, You can see the purchases I've made off of Coinbase and where I've sent it and what I've minted. Like you can see my entire
Real
transaction.
Quick, when you say you mint something, like what do you mean there? Like,
so minting is like, okay, so a project is brand new. Minting means buying or paying the fee to bring that piece of whatever you're buying of the project, putting it onto the blockchain and having it go into your wallet. So you're paying the fee for it to be created onto the blockchain. And a lot of times, like minting, it's like buying on like the ground floor. So kind of like, like an IPO or something. So you're getting that first buy of it. So people that minted Bored Apes, the first people to buy like the first, I think it's a 10K collection. The first 10,000, they paid, I think the mint was 0.08 Ether, which at that time, if you're thinking Ether may have been around like $4,000, 350, 360, whatever. So they're paying 300 something, and then they sell it during the bull market for $300,000. So, they got in at that ground floor when they minted.
So other than
that's what minting
us using crypto as a currency and all this other stuff, how are we using these blockchains?
Right. So you have blockchains, the NFTs that exist on them, whether it's art, pictures, there's utilities. So I have an NFT that I was talking about a little bit before, a lifetime pass for Rolling Loud. So Rolling Loud is a music festival. And I pulled up their last music festival that they had, headlined by Playboi Carti, Travis Scott, Future, Lil Wayne, appearances by Kodak Black, Tyga,
right.
Like a bunch of artists that you're familiar with. So they had a project where it's like, okay, you pay this money, you get a lifetime pass that goes into your digital wallet. And if you ever want to come to this concert, you show it, you get in, right? So they're having passes existing on the blockchain, and it's that unique identifier that is linked just to yours. It can't be faked. I hope it can't be stolen, but there are instances where it can be. But they're also trying to incorporate blockchains into things like legal documents. I want to say California was flirting with the idea of like driver's license on the block.
Even if it's not true, you can still say it. No one listens to this.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a blockchain called Tezos. And I know they were talking about, putting the DMV records on the blockchain because you can't fake a license if it's just on the blockchain, and you'll see all the edits or whatever made. But I mean, there's ways to write a smart contract. So if you get something sent to you or whatever, it can't be transferred out, right? Unless the smart contract is altered in some kind of way. So there's the ideas of putting legal documents that exist that can't be did or whatever on the blockchain. So there's that. Another thing that's big is gaming. So they think that one of the easiest way for mass adoption is gaming. And one of the things you may have seen, I'm sure most of you watch the Super Bowl. There
Only
was
a halftime show.
A brief 30-second ad during the Super Bowl. Only the halftime show? Smart man. Pregnant Rihanna? So,
brella.
So there was a 30-second ad, I think, in the first quarter for a game called Digi Daigaku or something. But during it, it's like scan this QR code for a free digital collectible. So again, trying to transition from the NFT moniker to digital collectible, but still you could scan that code, you get a free digital collectible, which could be used for this future game. I missed out on that one because my wife wanted to have cake because it was my birthday, and I was waiting for that damn QR code. I missed out on $700, free $700, but
it ruins everything.
Mitch,
right?
If I speak, I am in big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.
Anyways.
No one listens to this, Mitch. No one listens to
this. I love my wife. So gaming, they think, is going to be one of the easiest ways to adapt blockchain. So take Fortnite, for example, right? You play Fortnite, you get your V-Bucks, you get your cool skin or whatever, and that's it. You have that skin, and you can put it on your character. You can't really do anything other than that, right? The idea is incorporating blockchain into gaming, so once you get an asset like a skin...
Sounds mad creepy.
Well, I like this skin, but I want to do something with it, right? I don't want to just have it. I want to sell it. And there's games that have like done this before, not in like the blockchain sense. But Diablo 3, when it came out, had an auction house, and it was completely broken, and people were making a lot of money, and then Blizzard was like, "Wait, no, we can't do this anymore." And they could have, and they still could have profited off of it. But the idea is that incorporating blockchain, once you get an asset, it goes into the blockchain, and you'll be able to make money off of playing games. So the idea is playing to earn. Who knows how much you can actually earn by playing a game, or how many hours you have to put into it. But they think that's one of the easiest ways to adopt it. It's playing, getting digital assets, which you could in turn sell and make some money off of it. Instead of putting, your 2,000 hours into Call of Duty and only dumping money into that ecosystem and not getting anything out of it. Actually, the Ethereum blockchain is born out of World of Warcraft. So the guy that created it, he had this character, and he had like a weapon, and his character was really good. And Blizzard was just like, okay, we're going to nerf this. So they completely nerfed his character, and he was like, wait, this shouldn't be allowed. How can you just change everything, like the autonomy of my character, and all his stats are fucked up now? So he came up with this idea of having like a decentralized thing that couldn't be controlled by outside influences, and that's how the whole idea for the Ethereum blockchain came up, because Blizzard took away his beloved character stats, or which is kind of funny. And if you ever look up the guy that created Ethereum, he's a real gamer. He's a scary looking guy. Super smart, but he's not a looker.
Another practical application for the blockchain. A lot of companies now are using it for the supply chain. So like Walmart, Pfizer, AAG, Siemens, they basically, because you can track the movement of whatever product down the line, you can better, figure out where the problems lie. So that way, because, a couple of years ago, the supply chain was broken and this and that. So a lot of these bigger companies are starting to use the blockchain for that as well, especially in the food industry. Those salmonella poisoning, you can actually track where exactly the products are on the supply chain and figure out, okay, this is where it started. We just got to fix that. So that's another.
So companies are using this now in their supply chain?
Experimenting with this blockchain idea.
Do you know what blockchains are using?
No, I do not know that, actually.
So I can see that my package is sitting on a FedEx truck, not being delivered to my house.
Eventually, yeah. That's what these big companies are doing now. They're trying to figure out. Everything's about efficiency, right? Try to make more money and try to make less mistakes. So they're using this as and trying to use this as an asset. Definitely, Bezos is definitely using it.
Shout out to my Amazon driver who takes a picture of my package every time he leaves it by my door.
Mine brought it up 5 flights of stairs.
You're getting full service, huh?
Does he knock?
Pictures of your packages?
They knock on my door.
He knocks on my door too.
He rings the bell.
Is this still a thing where you can tip your Amazon driver like $5 if you like their service?
I never seen a tip. No,
I've never seen that.
No, you don't tip them. What you do is you say that they had good service, and Amazon pays them.
I tip them in Bitcoin.
$5.
If they leave it at my door, you're getting 5 stars. You are the best driver. I'm going to write a whole paragraph. Oh, you're the fucking man.
They got to do that with Uber.
So
I just looked it up quick because I had mentioned this earlier. California DMV, they were looking to tokenize automobile titles, 14 million automobile titles. So it would help with like title transfers. And I think there's an idea to do that with real estate too. Because I don't know how many of you have like bought a home or anything, but one of the things like they suggested we do is get like the title insurance. Because like people can fake their somehow end up getting your title. But yeah, I think the idea is, again, like tokenizing the title so they can't like fake that stuff.
I feel like there's a whole industry though that would like lobby against that.
Oh yeah,
they
all that paperwork. All those lawyers.
Where do you keep your titles now? When you get a title,
The lawyers.
I mean the title to your home?
Yeah.
The bank owns it. The bank has it until you actually own it. If you're financing it, they don't send you the title. They send it to the fucking bank.
They sent me my title by mistake. We've had it for like years.
Bro, so
my mom was like, no, the car that we had bought like years ago. My mom was like, they sent this to us. And I was like, all right, let's keep it.
I remember you asking me about that one. I don't know. I bought my car 9 years ago. I don't even know what my title is.
I don't even know what my car is.
See, I need it in my digital wallet.
Yeah.
This sounds like a great idea, but this fucking wallet shit sounds like a pain in the ass. I mean, it's
really,
like super secure.
So there is a lot of like security if you want to do. So there's different type of wallets. I'm not really going to get into it. There's hot wallets are always like on the internet. There's what they call cold wallets, which aren't connected, and sometimes you'll want to like plug it in through USB. Like I have my wallet right on my phone. Like if I need to do something, I can just open up my wallet right from here. So, and I mean, I always have my phone, so I always have one of my wallets on here.
I think Akon had a crypto in Africa.
Akon coin.
Akon coin.
The whole city was supposed to be like backed on Akon coin or something.
We need a coin, bro.
And then he's like, smack that up on the floor.
Convict coin.
Yeah, convict coin. The last thing I wanted to talk about was like, like when you invest in anything, there's always downsides. And did you guys hear about? I mentioned it earlier about FTX, but did you guys hear about? There was some influencers that were part of it, and they were pumping out FTX. And when the company went bankrupt, they also lost money. So did you hear about Tom Brady and Giselle before they got divorced?
Is she still single?
I think so. I'm pretty sure this is why.
She's dating a jiu-jitsu guy.
I'm pretty sure this is why. So he was promoting it. He got
Matt Damon was
and our boy Larry David, Shaq, and even Steph Curry were on this. We're dealing with a company.
I would listen to Larry David.
Me too.
Well, the thing with Larry David wasn't he like nah the whole time in this commercial?
Yeah.
He was telling you.
Yeah, he was trying to warn you.
He told you not to do it, and we should have listened.
It was an episode of Curb. That's all that was.
It really was. Yeah. You just needed Susie in there to be like,
God damn you, Larry.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Our boy Tom Brady had a deal with these guys that it was it supplied him with $30 million worth of stock, and Giselle $18 million worth of stock. However, because it went bankrupt, that stock is now worthless. So 30 million of zero is zero, which is probably what led to the divorce.
Hold on. I need to go through this.
No, it wasn't over Bitcoin.
Doesn't matter, bro. You lose 30 million or 18.
Caesar, you know how many degrees you could get with $30 million?
Of zero? A lot.
Yeah, you could get at least one more private school.
I could get at least half of a semester currently.
But no books.
Yeah,
no
books. And room and board, I gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been a lot of information.
We barely scratched the surface.
This thing is complex.
We didn't even get into the metaverse stuff. I think Zuck already abandoned his metaverse project
because he's too busy trying to fight people.
NFTs do get into like the metaverse of that.
Yeah. With that being said, learned a lot today. Victor, what about you, man?
All right. Step 1, we need to build an audience. Step 2, we need to sell them a coin. And step 3, money.
Nice.
That's what I learned.
Yeah, baby.
Rob, what about you, man?
Yeah, man, I think the idea of blockchains, that's not going away. I think it's a great idea. I want to know where this is going to go. I hope these big companies do jump in more and adopt it. I'm curious to see what Web 3.0 is going to be.
Yeah, man, and I learned that the blockchain and NFTs have another practical application when it comes to supply chain and a lot of these big companies. So And I learned that some of these investors lost a lot of money. A lot of money on those NFTs
Guilty.
When the market crashed.
I didn't lose. I didn't lose as much as Tom Brady, but I mean,
yeah, you're only down 20 mil. It's not a big
and that's
deal.
capitalism.
Hey, can I borrow 20 mil?
And that's capitalism. It's been a lot of information. We would like to thank Dan for being on the podcast tonight.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you very much. Our very first guest. And to you, the listener, if you like this conversation today, please pass this podcast along. Please comment, like, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And see you on the next one. Deuces.
See you guys.
Later.